So today we're going to be looking at Moog Muse, and we're going to be Moog mixing. And it's not a full tutorial. I'm just going to go into a few things that I quite like about it. Some things a little bit more unusual. We're going to delve into the sequencer. There's some interesting features in there that can offer some unusual sound design capabilities. I'm trying to break it. I'm trying to make it sound more modular. I want it to come away from this traditional synth that it is fundamentally. You know, we've got oscillators, two oscillators, times two, because you can lay out patches. We've got that mixer. We've got stereo filter, much like my Matriarch. We've got the envelopes and amplifier section. We've got LFOs, arpeggiator, and the sequencer, and we've got diffusion delay, which we're going to look at actually, get some reverb type sounds out of that, and we're going to automate all of that using the sequencer. That's what we're going to do, and that's its special trick. And yeah, that's what we're going to look at. So without further ado, let's crack straight on. Just before we crack on with the main part of the video, I realized I hadn't showed a close-up of what we're going to be doing. And in the sequencer menu, you can simply press init and clear the thing. We're going to be doing that quite a lot. If you press step, and as long as you're in that first menu there, step, you get a parameter record feature. And that's what we're going to be looking at, and I'm going to be talking about and using. So that's what it looks like. When I talk about the slots, that's the 8 slots. And in the slot, we can automate a value, a parameter, a fader, a knob. That's what we're going to be playing with today. And that's what it looks like. Just wanted to give you a quick close-up view of that. So I've got this idea for this patch. And we're going to use this one. And I wanted to try and see if I could gate it using the sequencer. I have tried a few things already. I've tried using the VCA, but let me show you, and let's just see where we go. It's quite interesting. Yeah, we've got nothing in the sequencer. So I want to be able to put a, oops, don't do that. So what I want to be able to do is put in a chord that's going to last. The length of the sequence for the moment. And then what I want to do is I want to use parameter record, and I want to be able to, so if I'm going to try and gate it in some way. So what you can do is we can put it into record mode, and we can say in slot 1, I want this to be value 127. I want the next one to be 0. I want the next one to be 127, etc., etc. So we'll just do that for all of those. You can see where this is going. We're going to do it the same for oscillator 2 as well. So go back to step 1. As soon as you move another value, it puts it in the next slot. Obviously, we want to make it the same. You could do it differently if you wanted to, but we're going to do it the same for this example. When I tried it using the VCA value, it was a bit clicky. So yeah, that idea. I don't know how fast we can get it. So that kind of works. It does some strange things when I'm moving between timbres. It does something different when I'm changing the volume of it. Once you get the volume up a bit, it seems to work okay. So there's an idea. I'm sure we could develop on that and add a few things on. As we've discovered, looking at other patches, which we'll either get to in the video or we've already seen, it only directs these values to the live timbre. Timbre. So those values will go to this timbre if this is active, and it'll go to that one if that's active. If you've got both, then it drives both. What I really like is if I could have it per timbre. That would be amazing. But that's a pretty cool result, isn't it? Don't you think? Yeah, so there's something there. I think there's something there. We could add another, let's add. course, what's happening there is I'm conflicting with the values that are being written. So you have to keep moving it for it to be updating. Anyway, you can get into all sorts of noise. So what we could do is put our VCA value, which would be easier in a way. Yeah, so we put the 127.0, 127. But it was very clicky when I tried it before. There we go. Let's. That is not really an option, I don't think. Yeah, so I think although it takes up 2 slots, you're much better off doing it with your oscillator 1 and 2 values. So that's quite cool, I think. That's a good way of trying to get it to sound more modular and more experimental. Because one thing I thought about when I got this is, crumbs, look at all these knobs. But, you know, it is all kind of very basic synthesizer stuff, which sounds stupid to say. And you listen to all the patches and, yeah, they're all right. But there's nothing that, and obviously it does sound gorgeous. I'm not saying that. I do love the sound of it. But I want to try and find a way to break it and do things that are not, say, your typical way of doing things. So that is one way of doing something like that. I quite like the sound of that. I quite like that. The thing to note about the sequencer parameter is the values that are stored are pointing to the active timbre. So it's a shame you can't have values for both, because that would be really cool where you get one timbre doing one thing and another timbre. But the way I've engaged both together, then those values that are recorded there are actually affecting both timbres at the same time. Of course, what we could do with that one now, sort of part 2, is we could actually now remove, if we're into step mode and we go to our steps. Yeah, I think it was in here. If we get rid of those, another way of doing this is not have anything programmed in the sequencer at all. Now, those values, step record, are still being played. So whatever I play now, if we were now to use the LFO to hit the VCF, okay, so if we assign it to that, we choose some kind of source. We've got a fast attack. So you could then assign this one to LFO1 rate and get probably want it to be maybe uni, maybe. And we could just reduce that max rate down because that's a bit silly. Yeah, so there you go. So that's quite fun, isn't it? I might save that. So we've been looking at the sequencer parameter options and modulating. One thing I wanted to just mention in between, we're probably going to look at a few other patches, but I wanted to mimic the round robin mode in the matriarch a little bit. And what that meant doing was, if we go to a sequencer mode, I've initialized, so we've got a fresh sequencer. I've got this patch which has got two sounds. And what you do, I mean, this might be obvious to people, I don't know, but what I've been doing is, have we got, how many we could do? Should we do a 32? Let's do a 32. Let's do something a bit longer. Why not? Make it a bit more experimental. So we're in record mode. Go to step mode. We're on step. We want to go to step 1, actually. Let's go to step 1. There we go. So we go to step 1. And what you do is we choose the timbre that we want to use, and we're going to stick that in. Go to the next page. So that is in all the even beats. And what we're going to do now is choose the other sound. We're going to go back into the first page, and then we're going to choose the steps that have no notes, obviously, at the moment. We're going to put something in there. Next page. So then you get something like this. But actually that E flat doesn't sound particularly nice, does it? So I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll get rid of wherever I put that. That was on D sharp. So can we just change that note like that? Yeah, we can. Let's make that. Oh no, that's getting rid of the steps. Okay, so can we go note? D, we'll make that a D. Let's just find out that that's not particularly nice, that one. Yeah, oh, it might be that was, oh no, that's the A flat. I do want an A flat, actually. Well, A sharp, B flat. And on this page, I think there was one, so there's one there. So let's just get rid of that. I think that should be all right. So, let's just change the pitch of this one. Just so they match up a bit. It kind of sounded good earlier when I did it earlier, but anyway, we've got that going now. So now we've got this bouncing around between the A's and the B's, and if you look at the steps, we can see, if we actually move to the timbre menu, we can see that we've got A's and B's and alternate steps. What you can do now, though, is I can go, well, actually, I want that one to be a B. I want this one to be an A, and I want this one to be an A, and I want that one to be a B. Next page, let's do a B. That's a B already. Let's do a couple of B's there. And we'll do make that an A. I mean, I'm literally just making random things up here, and just to mess it around a bit. Okay, so now this could be completely rubbish, but sometimes you get some really interesting patterns. So I kind of like that. I like that way. It's sort of unpredictable, messing around. So now on top of that, we can go to our parameter record feature. You have to go back to, that has to be in step, the menu there for you to see it here, which can get a little bit confusing sometimes. And now we can add in any parameter we want, as we have been doing. So we could maybe change the octave of this first one I think I want to do. Oh, need to put it into record mode. So you get the idea there. So we've got this ping-ponging between the two timbres, and on top of that, we've got the sequencer parameter record doing various things. You saw me doing the octaves first. We added some noise in there. We added the oscillator from the modulation section, and we start playing with some filters. You can, and this is where it can get a bit unmessy. Well, there's a couple of things we could have done there. We could have modulated the FX, which can be quite cool. You can also change the clock division, which in modular is people like to sequence that and change that with the control voltage. So again, could be a random result here, but let's give it a go. Okay, we've got one slot left. We've used 7 slots. We've got the 8th slot. This could completely mess it up, but we're here to break things, right? So we put that in, it doubles the time. We could do a slow version, go back one. You can go in and edit these. So you go to the step and you can see the value that's there, and you can adjust the value. What you need to do to adjust the value, so say I wanted to do something specific, and I'm sure I cover this later in the video as well. Let's find one with the value, because they won't all have values in depending on what I've done. So we can see the oscillator to octave here is value 42. Well, what you need to do is, actually, that's probably not a good example, because I want to find, yeah, let's find this one here, because it's a fader, it's just a bit easier to update. So mod os level, so that's when I change this value here. Now you can't change it if it's not in record mode, so you need to put it in record mode. I'm obviously on this step here, you can see it's kind of flashing, and then you can see you can update the value to a specific thing. So you can really hone what you want if you build it up carefully and you get what you want. Well, I'm just sort of throwing it in there just to show you how it's done, but you can really get to nitty gritty, so to speak. So yes, so you can change all your values afterwards. Now the only limitation that, again, I'm probably going to say this several times throughout the video, because I haven't recorded this linearly, so I've actually done this after all the other stuff I've done, and I've now worked out how it works a bit better. You can these settings will only drive one timbre. Sadly, it's not a set of settings for both timbre, because that would be really cool and I'd love that, but we can't. So if I was to make this active, all those settings would now drive that sound, that other bass sound we had in there, which can be cool. And again, it's room for experimentation. We can press both buttons and it will drive the settings, the filters, the octaves for both timbres. So it can get quite cool, can get quite messy. But yeah, there's only one set of settings. So if you want to keep it clean, bear that in mind. As soon as you start pressing play and you engage that one, you can really mess the sound up, because how are you going to get it back? Because you've modulated it and now it's all over the place. But it can be also quite cool. In fact, let's do it. So this is driving that sound. Now, if we press this one, it's driving that sound. Or the sequence of parameter is. So let's do both. So, you know, the octaves there is driving that bass sound a bit too high for my liking, but, you know, that's the way it goes. But we can probably knock that down, because we haven't told that to do anything. So if we knock that down. Yeah, there you go. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? I like that. That's really kind of cool, creative. And what I like about it is we're breaking things, you know, it's unpredictable. We don't know what we're going to get. And sometimes you can get some really cool things. And that's what we're trying to do here, trying to come away from the standard approach to it. So I hope you like that. I'm going to move on. We've got some other patches. Let's crack on. Let's see where we get to. So here's a little sound I made earlier. And just to say, you probably won't be able to see this, but this delay can also be quite reverby. I don't know why I said it like that. The main trick here is to have, so I have character filter on and I have DJ type. Multi-tap doesn't make an awful difference to what we're trying to do here. Character diffuse is what we want. And quite short reverb time. So I've got 400 milliseconds there. It goes right up to 15 seconds. So that's quite short in comparison. You've got a filter there you can mess with if you want, but that's not going to make a massive difference. 12-bit, 16-bit doesn't make any odds to this, I don't think. So there's no reverb on the external outputs of this. So this is just that. I mean, you know, it's got a bit of delay in there, which you can hear. So once I've got that configured like that, these knobs are like this. I have expanded the times a little bit. So there was a little bit of delay in there. Feedback's quite high. Character is 9 o'clock. And the mix is just before halfway. So that's my reverb tip for that. Another way I thought of doing something was to do something like this. If we don't do that, let's go out of here. Let's go to sequencer again. Let's initialize my sequencer. What I thought we could do something a little bit different is go to step mode, parameter record again. That's my favorite trick. Put it into record, and when you're in record, you can go to any step you want and enter a value, any value you want. So what I thought I might do is I might do the same kind of thing here and just see what happens if we do it this way. I might change these values in a minute, but we could see what effect this oops, this has, I suspect what we'll, oh, we want to put a chord in as well. Let's put a chord in. So it's a little bit clicky, isn't it? I've made that fatal mistake of leaving it in record mode, and of course it's recorded my BPM. But what I can't seem to do is replace the value in here. So that's what I don't know how to do. Yeah, so that what I would like to do is now delete BPM from every single step. You can clear the value, but you can't actually. It says clear parameter. You'd think that would be it, wouldn't it? But that just clears the value. So what? No, clear step clears the whole thing. Well, that's useless. Useless. Clear all clears everything. Yeah, so that's a bit rubbish. I'd like to be able to delete that or overwrite that with another value, but you can't seem to do that. So it kind of has limited uses. This. Okay, so that's not quite as good. So we could try maybe making it. What does? So that's our minimum there. Let's try making our first lower ones in record mode, and then we can adjust it. Let's make them 127. Let's make them halfway rather than 0. Let's see if that makes any difference. No, you don't have to be exact here. Well, in fact, it's probably better if you're not exact. Because you could vary these all the way and do different things, can you? But just for the sake of... quite bizarre, isn't it? So if we then went to our step and got rid of our notes for a minute, means again now we can play. Not quite. What you could do, let's see what happens. Yeah, it's all good fun, isn't it? It's all good fun. Yeah, I hope that gives you another angle of what the Muse can do. And to be honest, I think I'm just kind of hopefully just getting going because, there are lots of other things it can do, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm just trying to break it. Let's leave it there. So that's all the noodling we're going to be doing for a while. The next part of the video is just some patches. Using the same technique, a couple of variations, and just me noodling, no talking, just sounds. And that will see us to the end of the video. I hope you found it useful. like, subscribe, do all those kind of things. Let me know what you think in the comments. If there's anything else you want to see or we want to do or want to compare, we've got matriarchs, we've got Geminis, we've got this, we've got the performer. So I'll probably do some live sets and whatnot coming up. But for now, I hope it was kind of useful and a bit fun. And I'll see you on the next one. filters are just amazing. They are just amazing. Yeah, gorgeous. Just gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah, just absolutely lovely. I mean, yeah, and they're just standard patches it does for breakfast, those kind of things. Yeah, that'll probably do for now.